Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tom Darwood here. I'm outside the BBC London to do a recording of my campaign to become, hopefully, the next Archbishop of Canterbury. So I'm campaigning to give a rebirth of anthems, hymns and sonnets because they reinstate the legacy of the past 500 years as a direct route to the legacy that everybody's crying out for. Where is our country gone? Well, I hope I can give back to the British people the country that they so love and want to cherish again. Now notice, ladies and gentlemen, although my name is Tom Darwood, this is the figure that I'm campaigning under, a 21st century Josie 77, because that is the figure that will emulate the biblical Joseph, who not only spoke and helped Egypt, but also the surrounding nations, which to me means I need to have a message relevant for Britain and our surrounding nations of Europe and of the United States of America. So that is how important that title is. Now the next thing I would like to stress is, what is it that I've interpreted that is going to be meaningful to Britain, Europe and the United States of America? So, ladies and gentlemen, this graphic illustrates what I've interpreted as compatible to the biblical Joseph, who understood Pharaoh's two dreams meant exactly the same thing. 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine. But this graphic illustrates what I mean by abundance. It is, in one single word, the colonial era that gave the modern world abundant ideas through art and science. The famine is to do with our Stonehenge culture, which lacked understanding. It's as simple as that. That is basically my message. And I've also written a tuition course which can outline, and I'm teaching about the history of art and science and about how Britain developed the British Empire, the greatest innovation that the world has ever seen, with all its inherent abuse of power. But we should throw away the baby with the bathwater. We must sustain the acquisition of power and relegate the abuse of power. Now there are people around us on the internet campaigning to become the future Archbishop of Canterbury. Yes. Look at my website, see what you think. There's a lot to grasp, but I'm hoping that people will understand and not for something new. I'm not in the version, but I feel God has prepared me over a long time. Well, I say, This is what I've got to offer. People with degrees in bishop haven't come up with what I've got. Look, I've got my own constitution course. I've got my own hymn book in which I've given rebirth to 100 Christian hymns. Tell me what bishop think I've written hymns. Right, a hymn's the hardest thing to do.
You see, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm on your side. But that's the organization.
I know what you're going to say.
That's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
They don't. You see what happened? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Can I say something?
Yes, sure, sir.
I don't know if you know American pastor doing service for 25 years. It was Mr. Chapel called R.P. Kendall.
Right.
R.P. Kendall. You know preaching gospel. Are you preaching gospel?
Yeah, well,
How you can get a bishop? You don't answer that.
the question is, what have I got come up which is going to progress the Church of England and also be meaningful to Britain, Europe and America? That's my angle. And I don't think any of the bishops, even if you assemble all the bishops, all the clergy, I don't think they've got what I've got. So I don't have to be a clergy. It's what your ideas are that's important. They can be implemented by bishops and clergy.
So where are you going to preach? Sermons here?
No, I'm just saying, this book is all about the colonial era, because that gave to the book modernity. There's no argument about that. And this Stonehenge, that's our prehistoric, that's where we all come from, that era. But this overcame this famine. So that's my basic message. And this tuition course gives the people a deeper insight into art and science, and also what the church hasn't done is, this is the base of the drawer represents 2,000 years of Christianity, but the church has never pulled the drawer out. The articles inside symbolise art and science, and that's what's helped humanity to progress. And that is even more part of God's work than the face of the drawer.
Humanity is not progressing. You see now, 2025, 2025. It's the same situation when Jesus Christ appeared.
Well, that's true in certain ways. Anyway, nice to meet you, sir. Do you got one of these, have you?
Yeah, you gave me one.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Church of England can be defined in the last 400 or 500 years by 3 books. That is the King James Bible, the Book of Common Prayer, and the Hymn Book. These 3 books define the character and the strength of the Church of England. And I'm going to reform the theology of Christianity, first of all, as the most important thing of all. Secondly, I've created an indigenous liturgy so that whole congregations can take part. A personal version to reflect our humanity, and a corporate version to sustain traditional language. The two together, we can go forward with the present, taking the past with us into the future. The hymn book, I've also given rebirth to 100 of Christianity's most well-loved hymns. That in itself is a great achievement. So those 3 books, ladies and gentlemen, I've completely given a rebirth. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to sing you a rebirth of Land of Hope and Glory, sung to Elgar's famous tune. Blessed be our nation, wrought by heaven's decree, casting out injustice, chastened with liberty, wide the consecration of their works and fame, where the sun did flourish, never known to set, left to us to cherish. Be it not in vain, once in the beginning, Adam and Eve gave birth to their sons and daughters, freedom of the earth. Some enforced in shackles, others knew only wealth. How shall this injustice find in us redress? Only a new beginning, make we an Eden for all. Spirit of our fathers, lend thy grace herein. Hello there. Well, that's not depend on me, but I'm producing my ideas to be considered as the future Archbishop of Canterbury. So what I've done is I've given a rebirth of Christian theology, because I think to say that we have sin doesn't make sense in the modern world. But if we say that art and science and Christ has atoned for our evolutionary nature, it makes more sense. The second thing I've done is reform the prayer book of the Church of England by not having a definitive prayer book, because that is autocratic. We don't like autocracy. What we do like is democracy, which means an indigenous prayer book, a personal version in the language of a lover, you write to someone personally the way you express yourself, and also a corporate version in the these and thous to retain the legacy of the past. So the two together, like left, right, we go forward. So that's the second thing I've done. The third thing is I've given a rebirth of 100 of the world-loved hymns. So I can sing one for you now. Yeah, of course you can, by all means. Yeah? Take a leaflet, don't forget, take one of these. I'll sing you my... do you know much about Christian hymns? Are you Christian yourself? Or?
I grew up singing hymns.
Sorry?
I grew up singing hymns.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know the hymn in the Bleak the British.
Yeah.
Right, now see what you think of my words, okay? Same tune.
Okay.
Earth enclosed in stillness, fade away its cold, yet in beauty labors, silently alone. There to our amazement found pleasure in his sleep, for a covering laden, snow white and deep. You like that? Everybody loves that first verse. There you go. And quickly, I've rewritten Shakespeare's most famous sonnet. Okay, you love this. So, shall I call the Summer's Day? Yeah. So these are my reinterpretation or rebirth of Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, and I've rewritten 100 of his sonnets.
Wow.
So here we go. Oh, let me await finding thee, the coming of summer. How the day would end, the loveliest of all. I cannot see the garden out of all summer's leaves come to a hasty end. Even the eye of heaven at times reclines, from furious orb of gold intensifies, and all continuous in time suffers decay, as will the fairest among us so decline. Yet thy summer's rose shall not deflower, neither possession of thy loveliness dim, nor shall death thee denounce in its shade, where thy beauty henceforth parades. Where life may profit from this rhyme, thyself in verse may there illuminate. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you so much. And look at my website, give me your feedback.
Okay.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that ends my short recital of a rebirth of Land of Hope and Glory, a rebirth of In the Bleak Midwinter, and a rebirth of Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely freezing now, but I've enjoyed this first recital outside the BBC. Thank you so much.